G'day Kryptonites and welcome to another episode of Diary of a Crypto Noob. I'm your host, Sister Gold, and I am here to discuss a few things about cryptocurrency. I'll apologize now. I've had some trying to get this editing stuff working, and then we've had blackouts and all sorts of things going on here this past week. It's been absolute. Every time I've decided, yep, okay, I've got time to get and do a video, something's happened and I haven't been able to record or save or have power even to, shine a light on things. I'd like you to like, subscribe and push that bell button and share this video with all your friends. Look, the more followers and the more I get, the more videos I'm going to be able to do and, make this my number one focus. But at the moment, it's hard as I've got, I have to focus on what obviously is financially supplying to me. Not that I don't love you all. I love you all. I do. So anyway, let's get on to it. I want to talk about Bitcoin and is it the investment of a lifetime or is it a scam? Are we under the pretenses that this is going to save humanity or is it not going to save humanity? Financially, is it a good investment or not? Even now, so I wanted to let's go right back to the start, and when in doubt, pan out, scan out. When you're looking at a chart and you're looking at a day-to-day basis, one day you're going to end up being on this emotional roller coaster. You look at, oh my God, it's down, even week to week. You look at it and go, oh my God, it's down, and oh my God, it's up. Oh, yay, it's up. Damn, it's down, and you're going to end up having a heart attack with those ups and downs and everything like that. And yes, we've had a massive hit. Like someone's just kicked us in the kahunas and now we're still recovering from it. But I wanted to give you a bigger snapshot of what you're looking at when it comes to Bitcoin. So in 2011, right, and the prices that I'm going to talk about are going to be in US today because it was just easier rather than trying to find the Australian equivalent for the times. So these are going to be US prices. I will always let you know what price or what currency I am talking about. So in 2011, April 2011, we had a $1 Bitcoin and it went to $32. By November that year, 2011, it was down to $2. In 2012, it went to $4.80 in May to $13.20 in August. This is 2012, the next year. 2013, we have April, $220. By mid-April, went to $70. By October, it was at $120, and by December, it was at $1,150. 3 days later, it went to $760. That is in 2013. 2015, it went down to the beginning of 2015, it went down to $315. In 2017, it went to $1,000. By March, it was $975.70. December 2017, 17th of December, it went to $20,089. $89. $20,089. By June 2019, it was at 10 grand. By December, it was at seven grand $112. So we go to now closer to where we are now. 2020, it started at 7,200 in March. By November 23rd, we were at $18,353. December, the same year, 2020, we're at 24,000, just under. Snapshot of this year, by 2021, January, we're at 41,500. 3 days later, we're at 30,500. February and April, over 60,000. So, giving you that snapshot, it would be safe to say that if you're on a long-term view of Bitcoin, that the whole thing's been a bull run. The whole lot. From 2011, or even 2009 when it was under $1. You know, it has gone from where you could buy, you know, it was cheaper than your cup of coffee. And now it's a house deposit for a lot of people in a lot of areas. So we are talking about, you know, a 10-year snapshot of Bitcoin. Now, even at today's prices that we have gone down to, if you had invested in 2011, you would still be doing your happy naked dance outside and wouldn't care what the neighbours thought, because you'd be up. You would be so up. And it's really, you know, even if you had invested, you know, when in 2017 at the top of the market at 20 grand, you're still looking at being in profit. So in saying that, can we really say that Bitcoin is, you know, like we talk about these bull runs and these bear, you know, bull and bear and all that sort of thing. But if you were to pan out, you could pretty much say that Bitcoin has been on a massive bull run since the time it started. You know, it hasn't stopped increasing. It may have dropped every now and then, but it is still increasing and it's still moving up, and it's still, you know, look at the big picture. You know, if you are down at the moment, just go make yourself a cup of tea. Cheers. Put your feet up and just log out of your you know, of your crypto for a bit, and just know that it won't take long before you will be in profit. You know, 2017 to 2020 is, you know, it's not a big, you know, most of us have lived longer than that, you know, unless you're watching this and you're 3 years old, you know, you have outlived this. The other thing I'd like to say is that most tech assets, or, you know, technology out there, if it outlasts 10 years, there is a huge possibility it's going to be around for a lot longer. It's going to be around for a while yet. You know, you can't, it's not going to die out in a year. And so what? China bans it, Turkey bans it, whatever. You know, it's almost like putting a rock in the middle of the road and saying, well, you can't drive down that road anymore. You know, don't look at that road next to it, because that leads you to the same spot. But yeah, you know, there's ways around, you know, these bans, these, you know, in order to shut down Bitcoin, you would have to turn off the whole internet. And even then, when you turned it back on, it's still going to be there. Like, you would have to, like, that's it. No more internet for the whole world. Like, you know, it's not going to happen. We rely, like, every single company out there relies on the internet, you know, and soon enough, you're going to find with a lot of the American states and that are looking at integrating cryptocurrency and Bitcoin into their day-to-day running of life, it's only going to be bigger. So those figures that I've just read out, that's a company that's only just starting to take off. That's not a company that's been around and it's almost at its use-by date. That's for a technology that is going to be something massive in the long run. And it's got no use case. You know, not like Ethereum. Ethereum's got use case. Ethereum is the building block of a lot of cryptocurrencies out there. You know, Ethereum is a platform for a lot of the cryptocurrencies to build onto. So Ethereum's got a lot of use case, and there is talk about Ethereum eventually overtaking Bitcoin as an asset. And I can see that. I can truly see that is going to happen eventually, because people are going to, you know, companies are going to go, well, you know, Ethereum's got a lot more use to it, whereas Bitcoin, well, that was just a peer-to-peer, you know, money transferring system. That's all. That's really what it comes down to. So, give you an idea, this Marty Malmy, sorry if I got your name wrong, Marty Malmy, a Finnish developer sold 5,050 Bitcoin for $5.02. That is a value of one Bitcoin at 0.0009. That was at the start. Like, could you imagine having 5,050 Bitcoin just, you know, to sell like that? I mean, imagine him, he'd be kicking himself now. Like, you know, I'm sure he's probably got more Bitcoin up his sleeve. So, you know, Bitcoin's also got a lot more to offer than just what we use it as, you know, the peer-to-peer money thing and that. It has gone above and beyond what people even realize. So there was ladies in Afghanistan that were being paid in Bitcoin because they didn't have their financial, they don't have the financial system that we have. So for the work they were doing, they were getting paid in Bitcoin. Now, one particular lady, there was a story that I heard of a lady who was being paid in Bitcoin, and she was in an abusive relationship. She saved up her Bitcoin and was able to leave him because she had control of her own money, which he didn't know about. Like, this is the life-changing opportunities that it has already offered a lot of people. And then, look, your darker side of Bitcoin is going down the road of the black market, which was Silk Road. 1 million users before the government shut it down. And yes, it accepted Bitcoin. I'm sure it probably accepted other things, but it was accepting Bitcoin. This is a dark side of it's not Bitcoin. Like, this is what a lot of people have got to get right when they talk about, Bitcoin's used for this and that, and so is cash. You can pay for a prostitute with your Visa card. So why all of a sudden is Bitcoin the one that's being limelight as the one that uses, people use for illegal things? Like, cash has been used way before. Illegal things didn't come around when Bitcoin got invented. And I can tell you now that Silk Road probably was around before Bitcoin was invented too. I don't know. I'll look into that. If you know the answer to that, please write it down the bottom. That would be great. So every transaction with Silk Road, in 2011, Bitcoin was used as a payment on Silk Road, so that the payment flew under the radar. Nowadays, there are ways to track Bitcoin transactions. And blockchain, which is what the technology that Bitcoin is. If you don't know what blockchain, go and have a look at my B, A to Z of crypto, the letter B, and I talk about blockchain. It's a public ledger, which means it is, you can look into it, So, what happened was the cops went in, they busted this guy for Ross Ulbricht. They pounced on him, they took all his Bitcoin, and they were holding it while they were working. Now, Catherine Helm, Hem, was tipped off that there was Bitcoin being siphoned from this particular bundle that they had confiscated off Ross, and she looked into it, and she was able to see the transactions moving from their pile outwards. And then she looked into it, and she realized that there was someone inside the police force that was actually siphoning this. It was an inside job. When they went to go cash it out, they found there was two people involved in doing this, two officers. When they tried to cash out, they were able to nab them. So when you're talking about Bitcoin being a private thing, anonymous, that is bull dust, This was back in 2011, and they were able to find out the information they needed to where the money was going, right? So Bitcoin is not a good thing to be used if you're dealing in the underground sort of nasty world. So you need to realize that this is a public ledger. This is open, the book is open, and you can, people can find out the information they need to if they need to. So every transaction is recorded in the blockchain. To try and change this would actually break the blockchain. So I send money to you, that's in the blockchain. You send money to me, that's in the blockchain. If you went and tried to rub out that transaction so that it made it look like you still had money, there would be, alarm bells. It would not work well. So it would break the blockchain in a sense. Not like a glass bottle being broken or, a cup or anything, but it would then there was some dodgy dealings that happened in Ethereum a while back with actually what is now known as Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic was going along, and then there was a transaction. There was people that got their Ethereum stolen. And what they did is they actually went back to before that Ethereum was stolen and did a hard fork off and created a new chain from that moment. So, and that became what we know as Ethereum, ETH. So Ethereum Classic is still around, but Ethereum is actually what that Ethereum Classic was up until that point. So yeah, it's there are ways and means around the dodginess. It's not something that's going to be hidden from, like, if you are thinking that Bitcoin is good for your drug deals or whatever, it's not. You're gonna get caught, and there's gonna be records of it through the blockchain. So I would say this is actually one of the every transaction is recorded transparently on the blockchain up to a 100 millionth fraction of for eternity. So it's not going anywhere. They can find out, who sent money back in 2009 on Bitcoin, or they can find out what happened yesterday on Bitcoin. So every transaction is recorded. And that is, you could have sent a cent and it's recorded, The ledger is shared among, the ledger is basically the copies, as in the records. So if I was mining Bitcoin and you were mining Bitcoin, we would have the same records, as well as the rest of the people around the world would have records of the same transactions. So, it's not like we're relying on one computer in the world to keep these transactions. It's thousands of computers around the world. So when we talk about the halvening is something that happens roughly it's like 3 years and 10 months. Bitcoin will only ever be 21 million total supply. It's a deflationary asset, whereas fiat, which they can print like it's going out of fashion, is inflationary. So the more they print, the less our money is worth. Every dollar they print, there is $9 worth of debt that's associated with it. So when our governments turn around and get a loan for $100, there's another $900 that they have to pay back $1,000, not just the $100. So that leads me to, like when everyone's worried about trying to keep on top of the debt of, you know what? If everyone in Australia paid back all the money that we're owed and cleared out our bank accounts and gave it to the government, we would still be in debt. Just let that sink in for a minute. And that is every country. That is not just one country. Every single country, every bit of money in the world will never, ever, ever, ever pay back the amount of debt that we've accumulated. So, you can't be worried too much about, whether or not the government should be paying back the debt or whatever. The government will never pay back the debt. In fact, we would all be broke. We would have to go to a complete new currency to work that out. One that doesn't require us to have, 90% debt associated with it. So with the mining that happens every 3 years and 10 months, the miners, who are the ones that hold this ledger, that hold the actual information, the blockchain information, and validate it every single, I think it's every 10 seconds it gets validated. For doing that, they get paid in Bitcoin. So in 2009, if you were a miner in 2009, for every block that you would be validating, you would receive 50 Bitcoin. Wouldn't you like that now? 50 Bitcoin. 2012, when the halvening happened, it went to 25 Bitcoin. In 2016, it went to 12.5 Bitcoin. 2020, the one that we've just had, 6.25 Bitcoin. And then the next one, which I would say would be early 2024, is going to be 3.12 Bitcoin. So in order for them to make it viable for them to mine Bitcoin, they need to, the prices need to go up. Otherwise, it's not worth them doing it. It ends up costing them more money. And they have to do things like look at alternative energy sources that aren't going to cost an arm and a leg. And let's face it, your plug-in energy is, if you don't have solar or if you don't have any sort of renewable energy, which I did talk about, in my last video, you couldn't afford to mine Bitcoin. Unless the prices went up, 6 figures, it's going to become to the point where miners will not, this narrative is going to play out till 2140. The year 2140 is when the last Bitcoin will be done. And the miners won't be getting any more for their, there'll be nothing for them to get. So they need to obviously build up their Bitcoin now, otherwise, generations to come, they're not going to really take advantage of what's going to happen in 120 years time. But their children and their children's children, they're setting them up. It's a way to set up your generations. Why I think with Bitcoin, it originally came about because it was meant to be a peer-to-peer money transfer thing. So me send you money, you send me money. It's fairly instant compared to what the banks were offering, and it's just it was something that was didn't come with the horrendous fees that of a third party. The third party is the one that's getting rich in the middleman from your hard work and your money transfers and holding your money and that sort of thing. Whereas this is a program that it's not going to charge you interest every month or whatever to hold your money. If you want to take it out, there is a small fee, fees are charged, but that goes to raising the price of Bitcoin as well. So a lot of the governments don't really, want this out there, because it does make a few industries, it does make the banks a little bit more obsolete, and it does stop them from being able to, the less money they hold, the less money they make. So it's like the oil company. They don't want renewable energies and stuff like that. They don't want these electric cars unless there is a backdoor for them that you don't realise. Because let's face it, your electric car, as great as that sounds, you still have to plug it into electricity and charge it. So some mining company is still winning out there. And also the lithium that's got to be mined for it and all the other things. It's not as green as we all have been led to believe. It really isn't. Why I think that Bitcoin is now not good for what it was made for, is the price. So someone bought 2 pizzas in 2010. Today, those pizzas are worth, brace yourself for this, $613 million. They are the most expensive pizzas you'll ever eat in your life. You'd want them to be gold plated, even more Bitcoin plated. I guess they were Bitcoin plated. So Bitcoin, I don't think it's a very good, it's not going to be the money asset that people want it to be, because it's a better asset to hold. If you get, $500 in cash, then that $500 is going to buy you less. You are better off spending it. You are actually better off spending it than you are to hold it, because all it's going to do is mean that down the track you're going to be able to buy less with it. So fiat is a great money. Like it's great for money, because you want to spend it. You don't want to be holding, like it's like holding a dead fish. The longer you hold it, it's going to stink. So your cash is really good, and fiat is really good for spending, because it's not worth as much down the track. Bitcoin, on the other hand, if you spend it, that's less money you're going to have down the track. You could have held that and bought that thing 5 times over down the track, going off the records of history. So you're better off keeping that cryptocurrency and using. Look, if they had a cryptocurrency, which I'm sure they do, I think, like stable coins, for instance, that don't really go up in value, are very stable, and you ended up, that would be a better money source than what Bitcoin is, because spending Bitcoin, if it's up to 30 grand today, imagine what it's going to be in 4 years' time. The mattress or the car that you bought with it is now going to be, could have been worth 4 times the amount, whereas you've just bought a deflationary asset. You might as well have transferred it into fiat. In saying that, you don't want to hold on to this stuff and miss out on the life that you could have with it. I mean, you don't. Let's face it. You haven't put money into Bitcoin so that way you can just watch it grow and one day you die and go, well, that was a waste of time. I could have spent that. I could have gone on a holiday. I could have bought a car. I could have bought a house. Whatever. But wait until you've got enough in there that you can go, all right, well, I'm happy with taking some money out, and I know that I'm still got enough to grow it even further. That's my advice, because regardless of if you're panned in on this bull run, there's a good chance that you're going to be really disappointed. If you don't take it out in time and we get another one of these drops, it's, you're looking at holding empty bags, or you're still going to have whatever amount of coins you've got, but you're going to find that they're not going to be as worth as much as what they were. But you hold on to them for longer, and they're going to be worth even more. So this is where you need to decide if it's a short-term or a long-term asset. And I would highly recommend, not financial advice whatsoever, but I highly recommend looking at panning right out and looking at the history of Bitcoin. You're on a winner chicken dinner. Like you have got an asset that is going up. It is in one massive bull run, and as much as a lot of the YouTube influencers out there, bless their cotton socks, love them to bits, can't say a nasty word about them at all. They're all just trying to do their best. They wouldn't have their channels if they didn't give a shit about people, and give a shit about people making money, genuine money on this market. But you need to, they are going to tell you that it's over, or it's not started yet, or it's whatever. Look at it as a massive bull run and relax. Just relax. Like, if you're worried about it, move it all into Bitcoin, because it has got, or Ethereum. It's got the years behind it, and if you pan out enough and have a look at its history, it is on that, it's going up. It has a few little peaks, as it will, but the whole thing is it's going up. We are a lot better off in Bitcoin than we were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3, 4 years ago. And yes, this might be the bottom of the market. This might be the bear market. So what? Hold on. Just breathe. Don't be so focused on right now. Be focused on, okay, this is where it's come from. And it's the whole chart is on an upward motion. you know. And you'll soon see that what you've put your money into, it's still growing. It's gonna grow. We're in the early stages. We're only just hit the 10-year, the proper 10-year mark for Bitcoin, within the last year or two, which means that it is here to stay. It's gonna be here to stay, and putting your money into it right now is gonna be rewarding for you in years to come. You will never ever ever be sorry, but you need to be patient. So, and be positive about the whole thing. Look, nothing came to those who are negative, and those people that jumped in at the top thinking that they were going to make a quick buck in 2017 and maybe even just recently, and then got out after they've lost X amount of money. You look at the history and you know that it's not a short-term thing. Yes, you can make a lot of money quickly if you time it right. But how many of us have got the Bitcoin clock that says, put your money in here, take your money out there, they're not going to work for you. But one thing's for sure, if you put your money in now and take it out 5 years' time, you're gonna be a very happy person. You are gonna have gained. It won't keep. This market is going to be going up. And yes, we may drop down to 20. That's fine. But it's only to me, I would say that's going to be the bottom, and it's going to move on up from that, because it's just constantly going up. So just do yourself a favor, bring up your Bitcoin charts and pan right out. Do it on a weekly candles, and just have a look at the whole chart on a whole. And tell me, is this something that you can see yourself being able to hold on to for a long time? For me, yes it is. Like, I know that this next bull run that's coming up, I'm going to even be happier again. It's just because we are in panning out. We are in one bull run. This has been one bull run with peaks and dips. And that's all it is, There has been bearish and there's been bullish, narratives played out, but look at the chart. It's all one bull run. So that's just what I wanted to, I guess, come on and relieve a few fears that may be bubbling up at the moment, because the market hasn't recovered as within 5 minutes. Could we still see a bit more of a bull run? Yeah, I'd say so. It's not going to stay down forever. Whether or not that happens in the next month or so, or whether that happens in the next couple of years, it's anyone's guess. And you watch a lot of influencers, and they're like, oh, it could go up, it could go down. Of course, it's a 50-50. It's going to go up or it's going to go down. It ain't going to stay the same. It is what it is. And look, I look at the charts and I go, yeah, well, okay, that is bearish, or that is bullish, or you got your cup and saucer or your patterns, or your ascending wedges and your descending wedges and all that sort of thing. Yeah, we've got all that. But in the long term, it's gonna pay off. We are not at the top of the full Bitcoin cycle, like the full Bitcoin run. And what I mean by that is a lot of your stocks and shares, they get to a certain price, and they start to really become less volatile, and they just pan out, and they just go sideways. They're just coasting sideways. They might go up a couple of percent, they might come down a couple of percent. They go up 10%, they go down 10%, and they're having hot sweats and cold showers. So you know, when you're looking at these markets, look at it long term, and you will thank yourself this will be something that you will thank yourself in 10 years time. Thank goodness I invested in that, because this is our money, this is our technology, and it is going to it's going to work in our favor, regardless of who tries to ban it or whatever. It's not going anywhere at all. So on that note, please like, subscribe, push my bells, ring my bell, and share. If I can really build this up, I can start bringing out more content. I can start spending a bit more time doing these videos. I can spend more time researching for these videos, because I research every day for videos, and some days I think, if I haven't had enough time to research, or to give you the content that I really want to, then I can't. I'm not going to make a video for shits and giggles, and I'm not going to be up here giving you hopium or FUD or whatever, in order for you to go, oh, great, oh no, it's going down, it's going up, woohoo. The more subscribers I can get, the more content I can bring you. On that note, I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.